Welcome to the Tammuz Yoga Flow. Tammuz is really a dark and difficult month in the Jewish calendar. It's one of the three harshest months of the year, and physically we see that Tammuz is the month that has the summer solstice. It has the longest and hottest days, and sometimes there's so much light that it's actually perceived as darkness. It's a harsh light. Whereas the spring months are easier to work with. There's a little bit more chesed and kindness from our Creator. Tammuz is known as a very chaotic, difficult, and dark month. And we see that with all the events in Tammuz, from the shattering of the Luchos to when the Meraglim, the spies, went out to the land, to the expulsion of Adam and Chava, the beginning of the breaching of the walls, and so many more events in history. All of these events contain grief and sorrow and loss. So Tammuz is a time to really sit with and experience the sadness and the losses in our own lives, our unrealized goals, damaged relationships, and any grief that we may not have dealt with. This is the time to really work with it. And it reminds us not to push away these difficult feelings, because whereas it's a mitzvah to be happy, we also have to feel the arc of human emotions and be able to see the full experience that Hashem gives us, including the dark, difficult sensations and experiences. So we're going to start by sitting in a comfortable seat. We'll bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, and we'll bring the chin to the chest and start to scan the body, noting where sadness lives. For some of us, it's more in the mind, some more in the heart, some more in the low belly. Just see and feel where sadness lives in your body. And we'll start to breathe from the sit bones all the way up to the crown of the head on the inhale. And exhale from the crown all the way down to the sit bones. Continuing to scan the body, noting any tugs of the heart, any sensations, difficult emotions arising. And the first step in transforming sadness and difficulty is just being aware of its nature. What's feeding it? Holding it and cradling it like we would a newborn baby. And we'll bring the hands to the knees. And we're going to bring navel towards the spine. Exhale deeply here. And then inhale, press the whole front body forward, opening up. And you can follow your breath here nice and slow, or you can bring in some quick, swift movements with breath. And here we're releasing accumulation of sadness and stuckness in the body. Keep going, following your breath. Loosening up tension and rigidity that may have gotten stuck in the body. We're moving it out. A few more like this. And we'll come to center. Right hand comes to parallel to the sit bone. Big side body stretch. And our side body gives us freedom to move in new directions. Instead of getting stuck in difficulty, we find new ways to move. The freedom comes from the side body. Keep reaching through the fingertips and exhale to center. Other way, left hand comes parallel to the left sit bone. Big open side body stretch. Drop that shoulder away from the ear. Feel that nice opening. Nice. And come back to center. And we'll bring the feet right in front of us, hip width distance apart, and we'll come into a forward fold. So bend the knees generously to really lengthen the whole spine. Crown of the head drops towards the ground. Tammuz is also a time of collective and cosmic pain and exile of the divine. So we extend our compassion to all beings suffering in this moment, in this month, and we pray for them. May all beings be free from suffering. Exhale, feel the hands on the floor. And then inhale, we'll roll all the way up to standing. Come to the front of your mat. Lift the hands to the sky. When we're feeling sadness, we so often crunch in and contract. So let's lengthen it out. Stretch the fingertips to the sky. And exhale, we'll bring the elbows parallel to the shoulders. Open the heart wide. Breathing into the abodes of the heart. And I want to remind us during this month of difficulty to be kind to ourselves. Move slower and with compassion. Our heart is really our healing power in this month. A few more breaths. And inhale to the sky. And exhale. Sweep the hands forward. Inhale, flat back. Float the hands to the shins or tops of the thighs. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Crown of the head reaches forward. Sit bones lengthen back. And exhale, hands to the mat. Step the feet back, coming into our first plank. This is really the pose of Tammuz, of difficulty, of strength. But also, Tammuz is the element of water. So find the heat in your body and then start to invite coolness, fluidity, softness, the water element. So maybe we can start to activate the Ujjayi ocean breath, breathing in through the nose, cool air, and exhaling through the back of the throat. Hear and feel that soothing ocean breath. Option always to lower onto the knees during this pose. And wherever you are, lower the knees down and come all the way down to the mat, feeling the heart rest on the ground. As a reminder that you are not holding all the burdens alone. Any heaviness that you feel in the heart, give it over. Allow the earth to carry it with you. And inhale, we'll peel the heart off the mat. Shoulders are back, tops of the feet on the ground. If it's in your practice, come up to upward facing dog and shoulders pull together in the back, tops of the thighs off the ground, and open the front body. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe deeply here. If this is your first down dog, pedal out the feet, maybe look right and left. Find whatever movement you need to work through any stuckness, any tension. Move slowly and thoughtfully here. Sit bones widen and lift. And we're going to inhale the right leg to the sky. And exhale, step it through all the way to the front of the mat. Lower the knee down, sink the hips. So the zodiac of Tammuz is the sartan, the crab, and the crab often moves sideways, shuffling in avoidance. So we're going to counteract that. Inhale the hands to the sky by facing things head on, feeling everything in this experience right here, fully and presently. Lift through the fingertips. So no avoidance during this month. Exhale, hands to the mat. Lift the back knee, step it all the way forward, forward fold. Bend the knees, crown the head, droops to the ground. And we'll inhale slowly to standing, fingertips to the sky. Inhale and exhale, open the heart. Our heart as wide as the sky. And inhale, lift the fingertips. Exhale, swan dive, forward, hands to the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands come down, step back into plank. Invite that coolness, that water where you can. Press into the heels. And then chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Hug the elbows in. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Open. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Make them full and deep. And then inhale, left leg lifts to the sky. Exhale, step it through. Lower the knee and sink the hips. You can find stillness here. You can do figure eights. Tune into what your body is needing, is feeling today. This is your body, your practice. And then hug the outer thigh in, lift the fingertips to the sky. Any difficult experience or feeling, we invite it in here and now. We breathe with it. We give it space. Give it an opening, a place to be felt. Lengthen the side bodies, gaze to the sky, and exhale, hands to the mat. Lift the back knee off the floor. Step it forward, forward fold, bend the knees. Inhale, rolling all the way up. Fingertips to the sky. Exhale, elbows lower. Breathe into the abodes of the heart. Inhale, lift to the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat, step to plank. Find that navel point, that inner fire, that inner heat. And then bring in the cool air through the nose. Exhale out through the back of the throat. And then chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog on the tops of the feet. Shoulder blades pull together in the back. Open the throat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. So now that you know that flow, we're going to go through it breath to movement. This time really focusing on the kavana of working through any difficult emotion or experience, bringing it into the movement. So inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Lower the knees and sink the hips. Inhale, lift the fingertips. And exhale, lower. Lift the back knee on the inhale, and exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, roll all the way up to the sky. Exhale, open the heart wide. Inhale, lift, long body. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat, step into plank. Find your flow and we'll meet in down dog. 2 breaths in down dog. And inhale, left leg lifts to the sky. Exhale, step the foot all the way through, top of the mat. Lower the knee, inhale, sink the hips. And exhale, sink a little deeper. Inhale, lift to the sky. Long side body, lift through the fingertips. Exhale, hands to the mat. Inhale, lift the knee. Exhale, step it forward, forward fold. Inhale, roll all the way to standing. And exhale, parallel the arms. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pour it all the way down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, chaturanga. We'll meet in down dog at your own pace. So let's just settle here, noticing any subtle shifts of the energy levels, of the sensations of the body. And Tammuz is the month of Esav, and Esav is the chaotic dark brother. But Esav also has a spark of positivity and holiness that can be elevated back to the highest of highs. He's from the world of Tohu. So the question is this month, how can we work with difficult emotions and rawness and fierceness to transform and elevate the darkness into light? We'll bring the knees down to the mat, tuck the toes together, and sink the hips back. Forehead comes onto the mat. And walk the fingertips forward, lengthening from the tailbone all the way to the crown. And here we're going to close the eyes. The letter of this month is the Ches. And Ches stands for darkness, Hoshech. Sometimes there's so much light in the summer months, it's almost perceived as darkness. We need to wear sunglasses. We need to wear sunblock. It's too much. And in this age of artificial light, when we're bombarded with images and messages, Tammuz, which is the month of sight, calls us to reset and recalibrate the eyes. So we start by doing that through darkness. So let this pose be a darkness bath for the eyes. Let that darkness wash over the eyelids, clearing out all of the harshness of light that's been coming through. And the Chet is also fear. In the Kabbalah, it's known as fear this month. And it's the fear that holds us back from confronting our darkness with compassion and openness and curiosity. That fear that holds us back from dealing with our life. So any fear in the third eye, in the front of the forehead, just imagine it's dissipating into the mat, releasing the gunk from the forehead. And you'll walk the hands up slowly and bring them behind you so the fingertips are facing your sit bones. Open the knees wide and inhale, lift the hips. Heart lifts to the sky. Breathe deeply and fully. Energizing the tops and backs of the shoulders. And exhale, bring it down. Hands to the thighs. We'll just roll the shoulders back a few times, feeling any rigidity or harshness release in the shoulders. And we'll try that again. So bring the hands behind you, fingertips facing the back body. Sink into the sit bones and then inhale, lift the hips. Press into the hands. Gaze to the sky. Offer the heart prayer to the sky, to the divine. And lower the hips. Beautiful. Bring the knees in and just sit for a moment, noticing any residue from that pose. Notice where the shift is, where the energy is moving. Find your ocean breath, inhaling through the nose and exhale through that back constriction of the throat. Two more breaths like this. Sweet. And we'll bring the hands forward, come up to downward facing dog. A few breaths here. And we'll inhale the right leg to the sky. And exhale, step it through. We'll bring the back heel down and we'll inhale up to warrior one. So both hip bones facing forward. Wrap the pinkies in and up. And then we'll bring the hands behind the lower back, press the knuckles down, and open the heart. From here, we'll bend forward. Hands are going to gather above the skull. Humble warrior. Any heaviness from the front body, imagine it dropping out onto the mat. Few breaths here. And inhale, we'll sweep it all the way up. And swivel into warrior two. Reaching through the fingertips, bending into that front knee. And bringing it to mind any difficulty you're going through right now. And breathe into it like we're cutting through the resistance, opening a space around it. The space widens around the difficulty. We're cutting through the darkness together. Keep reaching through the fingertips, sinking into that front leg. And then reverse warrior to the back. Maybe press into that top thigh. And come back to warrior two. We'll straighten the leg. Bring both heels together. Nice. Inhale the hands to the sky. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart and sink the sit bones down to the mat into our goddess squat. So keep sinking the sit bones down, energizing through the feet. And we're going to circle the arms on the inhale up. Exhale, bring it down. And I invite you to bring a visual of cooling water, a stream pouring from above into our bodies. In the summer months when the heat is high, when our passions sweep us off our feet, when the emotions are difficult, we invite this inner cooling water. Imagine it like a stream in a hot desert. A few more like this. And we'll lift, tuck the toes towards each other, hands come to the hips, and we'll bow on forward, hands come forward. So maybe you need to open the feet a little wider to really release the crown of the head down towards the ground. We're breathing in the suffering of the world, and we're exhaling our compassion and kindness to everyone experiencing difficulty. We're breathing in the pain. We're not avoiding it. And we're exhaling loving kindness, softness, understanding. From here, we'll walk the hands forward to the front foot. We'll lift the knee towards the chest and hover, and send it back on the exhale. We'll try that again. So right knee hovers to the chest, bring it in. Exhale, send it back. A few more times like that at your own pace. Beautiful. And from here, we'll bring the right knee to the outer right wrist. Setting up for pigeon. Sink the hips back. Lift through the crown, opening the front body. And exhaling, coming onto the forearms or forehead to the mat. So it says in the Midrash that on the first day of Tammuz, there is no shadows. So in this month of sight, we are given the gift to see ourselves without any shadows. All the suffering, all the darkness comes to light when we see ourselves fully without distortion. And we'll walk the hands all the way up. Tuck the back toe and come back to down dog. Just take a moment to body scan from the heels all the way up the backs of the legs, sit bones, hips, and then down the back, neck, back of the skull, crown of the head. And then inhale, left leg lifts to the sky. Exhale, step it all the way through. Right heel sinks down. And inhale, warrior one. Make sure both hip points are facing forward. Widen the shoulders. Inhale through the pinky fingers. And exhale, bring the hands, gather it behind the back. Press the knuckles down and lift the heart. And then exhale, humble warrior. Give it all forward. Let it fall from the heart onto the mat. Keep pressing the hands towards the skull. And then inhale, sweep the hands up. And then warrior two. Keep pressing the hips down. The knee is parallel over the ankle. Breathing through the resistance here. Opening the space around the difficulty. And then reverse warrior. Breathe deeply into that left leg. Open the side body. And then straighten the knee. Bring the feet forward. Heels hug in towards each other. And we'll inhale to the mat, to the sky, and exhale down towards the mat. So find your cooling stream of water, bringing it in, breathing deeply, energizing the legs. Finding coolness within the heat, softness within the struggle, loving kindness instead of resistance and judgment. Beautiful. And come up to star for just a moment. Bring the toes towards each other, hands knuckle behind you, and then forward fold. Hands interlace and press towards the back of the room. Let the shoulders here soften. We carry so much in the front shoulders. Let them release, soften, lubricate with this water element in the joints. Few more breaths here. And then we'll bring the hands to the front of the mat. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, send it back. A few times like this. Inhale, hover to the front. Find that navel point, strong, heated. Exhale, send it back. Inhale, draw it in. And exhale, extend. Nice. This time we'll bring the knee to the outer edge of the left wrist, coming into pigeon on the other side. So top of the thigh softens into the mat. And then lower all the way down to the forearms or forehead onto the mat. So Tammuz is a time when we realize the destruction of our inner temples. And only then can we begin to heal. When we experience the pain and the grief and the sorrow, when we welcome it and give space for it, then we can start to find the points of light and transform this month of darkness to a time of light and healing. Nice, wherever you are, we'll start to walk the hands up. tuck the right toe and bring the knee up and come back to down dog. And we'll look between the hands. We'll walk the hands all the way forward, or walk the feet forward to the hands, bend the knees. Inhale, sweep it all the way up. Last time, exhale to the heart opener. Feel the rush of emotion, of passion, of experience flooding through right now. And inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, swan dive it forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat. Bring the knees down and lower all the way to the mat. Feeling again the heart rests on the earth, the heaviness be held beneath you. And any anxieties or butterflies in the belly, softly release it, let it go. And we'll push up, coming into seated. And just our last thing before Shavasana, we'll just do a short heart meditation. So sink the sit bones into the mat and just wave the hands over the heart, as if you're fanning energy in and out of the heart, energetically feeding and feeling the heart space. Now I encourage you to do this all through the month of Tammuz, with music, without, just really getting in touch with the burdens, the stuckness, the tensions of the heart, giving your heart this energetic fan of support, of movement. Beautiful. And we'll bring the hands to the thighs, and you're going to lower all the way to your backs in Shavasana. And the root of Shavasana, of course, is Shabbat, palms to the sky. Shabbat represents the ultimate receiving. And in this month, we do receive all the hardship and the difficulty and the sadness. And we receive it fully with open palms. So just rest here for a few moments. And during times of sorrow, we can close, we can harden, we can block ourselves off, or we can soften and we can open, and we can widen our ability for compassion. And compassion is the will for ourselves and others to be free from suffering. And this will make our narrow heart as wide and open as the sky. So in our last exercise, we're going to bring to mind a difficulty that we're experiencing, a challenging thought, a feeling, a difficult conversation that you have to deal with. Bring it to the heart, the center of the heart. And just like a mother would cradle her baby to find the source of suffering, just cradle this experience, this sensation with the nurture, the intention, the loving kindness as a mother would hold her baby. What is its nature? What is its shape? Flooding it with our intention, with our gaze. And I want to leave you with a quote before we end by Francis Weller. And he says, and this really speaks to this month's shattering of the luchos, of the shattering, the brokenness of the world. In truth, without some familiarity with sorrow, we do not mature as men and women. It is the broken heart, the part that knows sorrow, that is capable of genuine love. So come to the side body and push yourself up into a seated. And we'll bring our hands to the heart and bow towards the heart, to the difficulty and sorrow that's within us. We bow with gratitude. Thank you for the lessons. Thank you for being our teacher. Thank you for helping to awaken us in the deepest of ways. And as a collective journey that we are going through this month, I encourage us all to approach sadness in 3 ways. In the body, when we experience sadness and difficulty, move. In the heart, when we experience sadness, grief, loss, open, expand. And in the mind, when we're experiencing difficulty, create spaces between the thoughts. Widen the space between the hemispheres. And I bless us all to find strength and courage and support each other as we delve into our struggle and our darkness. And may this month be transformed into a month of healing. Thank you for practicing with me, and Chodesh Tov.